I cried the day I realized it. I was mortified, or nearly mortified, because, of course, to mortify is to put to death, and I was already as close as I could get to that. Or was I? Of course, we'll never know. I lived, didn't I? That, in and of itself, is a fucking miracle, all things considered. When the best form of treatment for what ails you is to bombard your sick, stressed out body with the onslaught of surgery, poisoning, radiation, and hormone blocking? Yikes. Whew. Things were rough, shall we say. But you know what they say, love it or change it. At the time, I was estranged from my husband and children, quarantined in isolation during COVID, having lost everything to bankruptcy, separation, and loss of health and income. I had nothing left to live for. But that's not true. It's not true, or I wouldn't be here, would I? And here I am. Evidence, not for the first time, that anything is possible. Or nearly anything. Certainly, highly improbable things are possible, but I digress. I knew that my children were suffering. I knew they feared the future and were close to giving up hope. I knew that if I gave up, it would confirm that it was all just too hard, and they'd give up, too. I couldn't live with that. I couldn't be that soul. The one that said, it's too hard. It's too improbable. I'm clocking out. So close. But I knew it would kill them. And although sometimes seemingly heartless, I was no murderer. So I chose to stay. I chose to live. I chose this life. And then it immediately became apparent what my purpose was going to be, and I cried. I cried ugly tears. My face scrumpled in distaste and disbelief. No. Oh no, not me. Not really, not that. Oh God, I have to be that person. As someone surrounded by intelligent, arrogant atheists, one of them I would describe even as an evangelical atheist, with total disdain for anything hippy-dippy or God-related. And as someone who had given away her power and not used her voice, it was terrifying to face my becoming. I was going to have to live out loud. That was my purpose, to own the process I was going through as I shed the victim mentality that comes with a codependent upbringing, as I let go of the tight grip I had on my high-achieving, people-pleasing, Protestant programming. And I opened my mind and heart to new ways of seeing and being with the world. I imagined the ridicule of my atheist friends and relatives, and the scorn for these crazy hippy-dippy ideas that I was embracing with horses and people. Oh God, I imagined them all laughing and shaking their heads at some of the spiritual ideas and possibilities I was entertaining. She talks to trees. She thinks everything has a spirit. She gives her horses choices. Who ever thought of that? Like, that's a good idea. And so I cried. I was mortified, or nearly mortified, as we covered earlier. And now, 4 years later, well, I'm free. I'm free of judgment or misjudgment. Free to believe the impossible. Free to live a life that feels good. To spend my time healing, being in nature, learning, and sharing. You know, I may not have door handles on the 2008 Beetle that I call Mabel, but I love her. And I have way more freedom than most. How many of you have working door handles on your car? Raise your hands. It's pretty much all of you, eh? Yeah. But how many of you can spend your time in a cozy cabin, crouched on one knee, writing beside an antique wood stove? Right. I am rich. Or I'm nearly rich. For most intents and purposes. I get to live like I do. Like I am rich. Thankfully, my parents let me live with them, and they ask for very little in return, which has allowed me to give a lot in return. And it's given me time to learn a lot. Time to put some imperfect stuff out into the world, to get over it, to evolve, and to grow it. I am indeed the luckiest girl I know. Next steps: mobile living and independent wealth and health and happiness, bringing the magic of Horsecraft to the world, telling stories that shift perspectives, open hearts and minds to new ways of being with horses, and the humans that we share our lives with too. So until we meet again, remember to take a chance. Thank you for listening. Please share this. It makes a difference. And anything is possible together.